2, 1, crescendo!
Our penultimate regularly scheduled qualification match. Of course, we will have that replay at the end of match number 100. Robots all in motion. Just our first action towards the center line there from the future Martians. And they pick that note up but cannot put it home. It's all square, 24 apiece. Human operators now in the controls. 90-23, a little too hard into the red amp. Knock the note out of their own control. Then Pronto comes in behind them, puts that note home. Both alliances activating cooperation, as has been the standard all weekend long. Good to see everybody playing along. Our red alliance, which we might as well call the orange alliance with those brightly colored uniforms over there, sees 4488. Shockwave putting a note up and into a speaker that amplifies just after the note enters. That's going to count for the points, though. 488 for the blue alliance comes in, puts a note in just after the amplification ends. Should still be 5 points, though, with the grace period there. And a tight match on the board, net 45-44 as we come under 90 seconds. Pronto into a red amplified speaker. Chill Out into a blue amp. And then all three blue robots back towards the blue source. Here comes 488. Here comes 1778. 3826 Surf in the robot Tsunami trying to find a note. They've got that now, and they're going to make their way back towards the blue end of the field, bumping into 4488. Shockwave and 488 X-Bot. A lot of 4s, a lot of 8s, a lot of robots. And a lot of scoring happening here as we come to 50 seconds to play. And the Red Alliance has pulled ahead now 75-53 on our unofficial real-time scores. Chill Out back to the blue source. Here's 4488 once again at the red amp. Future Martians 9023 right behind them. The Red Alliance communicating and coordinating reasonably well, although 9023, our second-year team, seems to be having a little bit of trouble making their connection. They have to pick that note up off the ground. Then they send it flying down to the blue end of the field. Looks like that nearly hit our referee, Nathan, but he's dexterous. He's fine. High notes flying in now as we hit the end game. The center stage spotlit for the Red Alliance. Once again, no robots taking advantage. 2 red robots off the ground. Looks like 2 blue robots. And as our final seconds tick away, there's number 3 for the Red Alliance as well. We'll let our referees tally it all up. Final scores coming your way shortly. Scores are confirmed for qualification match number 99. It's a Red Alliance victory this time. 99-64, 99 points in match 99 for the Red Alliance. Future Martians all the way up to number 4. They will have the opportunity to be an Alliance captain. Chill Out trades places with them, drops down to number 6 on our leaderboard. And we're going to come back here up to the sports desk and introduce my friend Josh Clark again. Some interesting happenings here in the last few matches. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, you know, we talk about every little detail mattering here, especially as we start winding down just, well, I guess 2 more matches left to play, excuse me. And every little detail counting. This year, there's a little bit of an element of chance in our end game. Most years, it's like, all right, you climb the thing, it either goes or it doesn't. In this year's case, we have human players, for those of you just tuning in for the first time to Crescendo, throwing high notes, they're the taped off notes onto the microphones, onto those stages, and they spotlight the robots, which is great, unless they don't. Let's take a look at our match highlight from this one, and we'll take a look at both stages. That's this area over here, and this area over here, and watch the poles. I don't know if I can quite zoom in enough, but right there, there's a little metal pole that sticks up. And when we roll this highlight forward, this is just our end game overall. Watch where these high notes come in from the human players, who, by the way, are from down here and down here. The high notes sometimes don't land quite where you want them. You know, you're trying to get them onto the post where you have robots parked under them, which spotlights the robot, makes them worth 4 points instead of 3. But in this case, here's the red one with no robot under it. We've seen some drive teams change their strategy in the middle of a match, like, oh, hey, the note landed on the other side of the stage. We're going to go move the robot over there. In this case, we didn't see that. Only left 1 point on the board. It still was an overall good match for them. But, you know, that's the kind of strategy adaptation we'll see, I think, more of as we go into our playoffs this afternoon, especially.
Yeah, and an interesting scoring system point this year is that there's no value in putting that high note on that microphone unless a robot goes on stage underneath it. So excellent work by our human players. You mentioned an element of luck, which there certainly is, but also those human players spending a lot of time playing ring toss in their shops and on their practice fields, trying to get that worked out. And we'll have to see how well they can coordinate. They are not necessarily right next to their drivers, and can they communicate and coordinate to make that work? Let's head back down to the field for match number 100. Here's Evan.
Thank you, Brett. I have the team.